What's going on, guys? It's Krause here. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'll be showing you 10 different bike tricks that are guaranteed to impress your mates. Let's get into it. So the way things are going to work, guys, in today's video is we'll be starting at trick number 1, which will of course be the easiest trick that you can learn, and then we're going to gradually work our way through all the way to trick number 10, which will be the hardest, most craziest. So make sure you stay around to the end of the video so you can see what that trick is going to be. Also, for each of the tricks in the video, I will be giving a little mini tutorial to help you guys get started in learning these tricks. So without further ado, let's get into trick number 1. Starting things off with a bang, we've got the rolling crank flip. Here are my 3 quick tips that you can practice at home so you can learn the rolling crank flip. Tip number 1, and potentially definitely the most important, is foot positioning and the flick. All you're going to do is with your front foot on your bike, tilt your foot downwards a little bit and then flick the pedal backwards. That's all you're going to practice for this step, tilting your foot downwards on the pedal and flicking the pedal. That's all you need to do. It only requires your front foot, no other foot's needed. Tilting the foot down and flicking the pedals around. So now that you're feeling comfortable with tip number 1, simply just flicking your pedal around, you're ready for tip number 2, which is actually sitting on your bike with both of your feet on, rolling and practicing the crank flip. And all you're doing is the exact same motion. You're going to tilt your front foot and flick the pedals, all whilst rolling on your bike. And just like that, guys. Really straightforward, really easy. So for tip number 3, it's the full thing now. We're going to be standing up on our bikes and rolling this time, and we're going to jump and kick the pedals in a full 360. So this is definitely the part of the trick where it can definitely feel a little bit sketchy, but I'm here to help you guys. I've got a great tip for this. All you want to do is have your weight over your bars more so than you'd expect. And what this does is it actually gives you a few extra seconds of time to be able to watch those pedals come around and decide if you want to jump on them or not. That was a really slow crank flip, but I was able to just hold myself, watch the pedals come around and jump on safely. So hopefully those 3 tips, guys, were able to help you learn at home the first ever rolling crank flip. That's a really fun trick, but we've got no time to waste here. We're moving straight on to trick number 2, the X-up ride. So I think the best thing you guys can do to learning the X-up ride is really break it down into some beginner steps here. Step number 1 is I think you guys should just practice turning your bars into the X-up ride on the ground. I think it's important just to get used to being in this position, having your arms in that position and getting comfortable with what it'll feel like once you land it. Tip number 2 will be rolling at a comfortable speed as if you are going to try it for the first time, lifting up your front wheel off the ground and just twisting your bars a little, just starting to feel the movement with the front wheel off the ground, feeling how much time you have to do the trick. Third and final stage, guys, is you just have to put it all together. There's not more to it. I guess find a grassy patch if you want. This is synthetic grass, so it's actually like concrete anyways, but find yourself maybe some grass at home, somewhere where you feel comfortable, and I think you guys should just go for your first one, get it out of the way, and in no time, you'll be doing the X-up ride. Things are starting to get pretty weird now. Trick number 3, we've got the backwards rider. So this is easily one of the tricks on the list that I probably have the least amount of tips for. Stand on your bike, obviously backwards, because that's the trick. And my biggest tip is, guys, get a pedal forward that when you start the trick, you can push down on and get some speed happening. Another really important tip for this trick, guys, is working out before you start which brake is which. Because now that we're back to front, the brakes are obviously back to front. It's all a bit trippy. So yeah, make sure you're grabbing the right brake. You probably want to grab your rear brake rather than your front brake, because if you go too fast and you grab your front brake, you know, yeah, you can put that together, what will happen next. So now you're feeling confident knowing which brake is which. All that's left to do, guys, is try it for the first time. Have your pedal ready, you're going to step down on it, sit up on your bars, and you're going to be doing the backwards rider. Just think of the look on your mates' faces if you rolled up to a ride looking like this. Alright, let's get on to the next trick. Trick number 4, guys, definitely one that looks pretty familiar. We've got the seated track stand. Let's get into it. This is definitely one of those tricks you guys are gonna want to learn because A, it's really fun and it looks really cool, but B, and much more importantly, you can challenge your mates and watch them struggle. So with that said, let's get into some tips. First things first, we're gonna get used to being in the position of the trick. What you wanna do, guys, is find yourself a gutter or something like this. Today we'll be using these weird little logs on the side, and all you have to do is turn your front wheel 90 degrees, have your front brake ready to go, sort of wedge it in the gutter, lock your front brake, and then you can chuck your front wheel up, your front feet up, sorry, onto the wheel, and you can practice being in the position of what it'll feel like doing the seated track stand. And so once you're at a stage feeling pretty comfortable being in that seated sort of position there, guys, this is the fun part and definitely the most tricky part of the trick. You're gonna set up exactly as you just did in the gutter, this time without a gutter, of course. Turn your front wheel 90 degrees again. You can lock your front brake for the first sort of second here, and what you're gonna do is chuck both of your feet up either side of the wheel here and then release your front brake, and all you have to do is then use your feet to help you keep balance on the wheel. Yes, it's definitely a little bit tricky in the beginning, but the more and more you practice, guys, you'll be able to find that balance point and lock in. And as a bonus, guys, if you're feeling pretty confident with this sort of thing, extra trick you can do is the 360. To really try and one-up things. Make sure you learn this one. If out of any, make sure you learn this one, because you can just roll up on your mates, do this, challenge them, and again, you'll just watch them struggle for days trying to work out how you're doing it. It's a really fun trick. Let's move on to trick number 5. And just like that, guys, we are halfway through the video. We're about to do trick number 5. So make sure, drop a like if you're enjoying the video, drop a comment, let me know which trick you want to try, which trick you can do so far. Let's continue. Trick number 5 is the rear wheel stand. So that's the rear wheel stand, guys. That's a really fun trick because depending on how much you want to get out of it, you can sort of make it sort of basic, or if you want, you can really try and steeze it out as much as you want. So it's a really fun trick in that regard where you can really decide how much you want to get out of it. Let's get into some tips. First up, what I think is really important is, again, getting used to sort of being in the position that you're going to be in, which means getting your rear foot on that rear tire, guys, and sort of just being, I guess, somewhat familiar with how this trick might feel. So we're obviously locking our rear brake so the rear wheel isn't moving, and all we're doing is sort of standing up on our rear foot there, getting used to what it feels like to be up on that rear wheel. Up next, you're just going to roll into the trick with a comfortable pace here, and all I'm doing, guys, a little endo, lock my rear brake, I'm jumping off the pedals onto my rear wheel just like that. I think that's a perfect way to sort of get used to that next stage of the trick. Now that you're standing up on your rear wheel in the trick, all you're doing is spotting for your pedals and simply jumping back onto the pedals, little endo, back wheel, spot the pedals, and roll away. We are absolutely flying through this list, guys. We're up to trick number 6 now. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Hope that you're finding some good inspiration or tricks that you want to try with your friends or try by yourself. Trick number 6 is definitely one of the more crazy ones that you'll see in today's video for sure. We're going to be sitting on our handlebars and riding. This is easily one of the tricks where you probably won't find a tutorial on YouTube. I will give you some tips, I guess, that help me to do this trick. But yeah, this is so weird. This is so random, this one. So here's what I do. To get into the trick, I stand in front of my bike like so, ready to go. I've got my fingers on the brakes just in case I need them. And all I'm doing, guys, is sort of getting a little speed going. I guess it would help if you had a little hill going. Get a little speed, and then I'm just jumping up onto my handlebars. Be sure you don't jump too far backwards, of course, and then it's all a balancing game from there. It's all a balancing act, guys. You use your steering, I guess, to help a bit. You're kicking your legs like a madman, trying to just balance. That's all there really is to it. Let me give you an example. We've got about, I don't know, maybe 25 meters behind us. Let's see if I can do the whole length. Again, standing in front of the bike, guys, I'm gonna get a few steps in, jump up onto my bars, and see how long I can balance. As you can see, just kicking my legs, trying to keep the balance. This is definitely pretty far. We've got a dog in front of me. Let's go. And dismount. Pretty cool. That's a really fun trick, guys. And again, just imagine the look on your mates' faces if you just, I don't know, rolling up down a hill, just coming down on your bars like that. Let's keep things going right here, guys. We're getting close to that trick number 10. Trick number 7 on the list. A school dance favorite back in the day. We've got the worm. Such a cool feeling trick, that one. Let's jump right into some tips. Stage 1 of this trick is just rolling into a little endo, guys. You're just gonna go into an endo, and then you're gonna rock onto your back wheel with your rear brake locked and pull up just like that. Now for the somewhat tricky part of the trick that definitely makes the whole thing work is what you're gonna do, guys, is when you pull up onto your rear wheel, the challenge is to try and swap your rear wheel with your front wheel here. This is a really good trick, guys, because once you sort of master that first movement of swapping the rear wheel with the front wheel, all that's left to do now is keep on repeating the process as long as you like. So you can do the worm for 100 meters if you'd like. I'd love to see it. But yeah, that's what's cool. The whole trick really rides on you just learning how to swap the rear wheel with the front wheel, just like that. Once you get that down, you'll be doing the worm forever. Getting close to the end now, guys. Trick number 8, we've got the shuffle. So now you've graduated from learning the worm, we're keeping the dance trend going here, guys, and you're actually gonna learn the shuffle today. No, all seriousness, trick number 8 it was, the shuffle. You guys just saw it, now let me give you some tips. Now the biggest advantage you guys can have when it comes to learning this trick is definitely already having prior experience with the regular rear hops. Once you have that trick dialed, this is definitely a great way to sort of up that trick. When you go to hop, you're gonna swap your feet forwards. Pretty self-explanatory, as I'm sure you guys saw. Getting up on my rear wheel, when I do the rear hop, I'm rotating my pedals forwards, and then I'm doing a rear hop with my opposite foot, swapping that foot, and it's really just sort of a mind game. Definitely try it out. keep in mind it's pretty tricky. We're moving things right along, guys. We're getting close to trick number 10 here, but first, let's move away from the dance floor. Trick number 9, we've got the static 360. So I won't lie, guys, I've only actually just learned this trick for myself in the past week. I've never thought to try it before, ended up trying it. It's a lot of fun, so let me give you some tips. All the trick is, guys, you're gonna roll in, come to an absolute stop on your bike, and then you just want to generate momentum from a stationary position and try and get a full 360 around. Now, the best way that you can start learning this trick is definitely by breaking it down yet again, starting with turning just 90 degrees, little turns, then trying to go 180 degrees, and then eventually work up to the big 360. For this trick to work, guys, you really need to make sure that you're generating enough momentum to give yourself the best chance at getting that bike around full 360. It's super important that you guys focus on getting your body to do the 360 as well as your bike. What I mean by that is it's really easy to try and generate enough momentum and sort of be looking straight, not where you're going. As you guys can see when I do this trick, my whole body is really looking all the way around to complete a full 360. That is easily the biggest tip I can give you for learning this trick. Make sure your head, shoulders, hips, everything is going in the direction you want to be going. So here we are, guys. We have made it to trick number 10, the final one on the list. Easily the hardest, most craziest trick in today's video that you guys can learn at home. I'm really excited to show you this one. It's called the boomerang. Woo. That was by no means the cleanest one I've ever done, but we're taking it for today's video. Now let me break down how you guys can go about learning this crazy trick. First things first, pretty important step, finding out which way you want to do the spin around the bars. I personally turn to my right and I'm right foot forward on my bike. That means when I come around, my front foot is there sort of waiting for me so I can put it on first. I don't know if that helps or not. So step 1, finding out which way you feel the best to jump off your bike. So now you figured out which way you want to jump and spin around your bike. Here's the next step for you guys. It's really good. There's actually a way to do this trick somewhat a bit easier on yourselves. So I'm going to approach the trick in the exact same way as you saw me when I actually did it. However, this time, guys, when I jump off my bike, I'm going to put my foot on the tire, which will sort of help me spin around the bars. Let me show you what it looks like real quick. Okay, guys, so I've just had word from behind the camera. Perhaps that one actually looks cooler than the first one. I don't know though. Make sure you drop a comment below. Let me know which one you think looks the coolest out of those two options. In my head, I actually learned that one first. That's why, to me, I would suggest you guys learn that one first. It feels maybe a bit easier, I don't know. Or maybe a little less committing because you can just stand on your wheel compared to the other one, which is just nothing the whole way around. There's not really a whole much more to that trick. I am locking my front brake. That's definitely notable. So I'm riding at a pretty slow pace, I would say, as well, not too fast. And all I'm doing is like locking my brake and jumping off the bike like that. I guess that's also a really great way to sort of maybe start learning how it feels and whatnot. Exactly what I did just now. Roll out of pace, lock the brake, and start jumping off like that. Pick which one you want to learn. Perhaps it's that second option because it feels pretty cool. Apparently it looks pretty cool as well. It's really just a commitment thing at the end of the day, guys. Spin all the way around. Keep your weight above the bars, which can be a little scary. Spin as hard as you can, spot those pedals, land, and you'll ride away. So that is a wrap on the video, guys. Make sure you drop your comments below. Let me know which tricks you want to try, which ones you want to learn, which ones you can already do. I'm curious to know. If you try any of them and want to film them, send them to me, tag me. I'd love to see you guys trying. As always, thank you so much for all the support. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. We definitely ran into a few little problems filming this video. We had chainsaws going, we had mulches going, we had rain. So if it's a bit jumpy and cutty, that's why. We try our best for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Yo!